and then that's the quarter-final match between Germany and Italy. And I think that will be a crucial match between Germany and then Italy, because these two nations, when you talk about a powerhouse in football, you made mention about Italy, and then you talk about, the side of the German, side on Subitimisha, Italy, but then the coach, the German side is Julian Nagelsmann. And one thing about him is that when you talk about his tactics, quite of us who any things in the midfield and even to the attacking third, it's quite influential. When you talk about the squad in data currently as we speak, the German squad is a bit more parody against Italy. It tells you what the bit Germany can easily win against the Italian side But the one thing about the tactics of Julian Nagelsmann is about quite of us about the two identical systems when it comes to about ultimate progressive on due to the attacking third. And when you talk about tactics now, you talk about or generated two basic normal times into the attacking third, making sure that into the midfield will be generated one as a primary product and the other one as a secondary product, just to make sure that the secondary product will facilitate a lot of utilization of balls into the attacking third, and the primary product will be a deep line playmaker who will make sure he will conduct himself as a distractor in that particular midfield for the side of the German side. So, and then tactically, you will see Julian Nagelsmann who will try to do a lot of things into the midfield of the German national team. But this is the starting lineup a bit Makoso, the German national team. Now, when you talk about the starting line, you got about Papa said Joshua Kimmich, who will play in the right full back for the side of German national team. And when you talk about Joshua Kimmich, he is that particular right full back as a right full back. He can easily invert himself as an inverted midfielder just to support Robert Andrich on Super as a deep line sitter in that particular midfield for the side of the German national team. When you talk about Pascal Gross, who will be used as a traditional number 8 for the side of the German national team, or no, it's me using them as a secondary product who can easily do a lot of creativity, which a lot of things in the attacking third of German national team. Then talk about Jamal Musiala. When Jamal Musiala is being played in the left wing forward for the side of German national team, he can easily create the secondary auxiliary striking role to support Undab as the main creativa in the attacking to the top main striker of the German national team share a lot of goals. They talk about Leroy Sané. When he's actually transitioning, he makes sure he will become an incisive player who will make a lot of incisive passes also into the attacking third, just to support these kind of attackers anymore at the German national team. But then some more attack here, not about the 4-2-3-1 attack, but then the attack in the 4-1-4-1 tactical flexibility and attack the Julian Nagelsmann side for the German national team. When they do that, they create a lot of numerical superiority on the attacking third. A lot of things. It pushy the Italian side. It drew more defensive structure. So pushy a lot of things into the mid-third of that particular opposing half. But when you study the Italian tactics very well, you talk about the Italian tactics. They talk about the typical Catenaccio system. A typical 3-5-2 system. Or may use a lot of wing fullbacks. It may oppress the midfield of the German national team. But you talk about the wing backs, you talk about Cambiaso and then Udoji, who will be playing as the basic fullbacks of Italy or more midfield. It's about the close compactness. The side of the German national, because the side of the German national team only about Robert Andrich and then Pascal Gross only in the midfield. But when we talk about Italy, they have that kind of people, or they have that kind of players who can be played as an inverted midfielders, and then they can be played as also a natural fullbacks for them. But then in that particular defensive structure of Italy, you talk about Calafiori and then Bastoni and Lorenzo, who can be played as the three basic backs. So more transition that Calafiori is that kind of defender. He can easily transition himself as a hybrid midfielder just to support that kind of midfielders Omo Infinfio in the likes of Richie, Sandro Tonari, and then Davide Francesco Mujine Infinfio at the other side of the Italian national team. And then Nico Barella this season, on which now at the Inter Milan side has been splendid. But then when he comes into the Italian national team, when Timmy Bob as a deep line sitter, but then sometimes he uses himself as a typical number 10 bits anymore at the Italian national team side. And then Matteo Retegui, this season the Italian Serie A, he has been able to score a lot of goals for the side of the Italian national team. Bet. So more a lot of things they are going anymore. Sandro Tonali and then Nico Barella will be that kind of people. They can easily stop a lot of transition of passes a bit Mabwa. The side of Italy, it's a lot of things into the attacking terrain, into the defensive structure of the German national team. But so can Italy come on first young transitioner? It is actually immense. They don't have a certain creativa who can create a lot of chances for them in the attacking third. They have that skillful nature in the side of Davide Frattesi, who at times can utilize a lot of passes and make sure to bit more perfect passing accuracy into the attacking third. But when they talk about say blocky balls, a lot of ball retentions, a lot of interceptions. I can actually duel on Nico Barella and then Sandro Tonali, who makes me at the other side of the Italian national team. So if only Julian Nagelsmann wants to create a lot of things into the defensive structure of the Italian side, then he needs to make sure so bet me use Jamal Musiala efficiently into the attacking third of German or Mankasa opposing her, because when it becomes very difficult for them to expose the compactness of Italy or more defensive structure, it will take just one person or with my proper ball progressing career for the side of the German national team for him to actually expand the porosity nature of Italian national team or more defensive half now. And I believe say it will be Paperos Jamal Musiala who can easily progress the ball very well, who can have that collaborative passes together with Ondavon now as a typical number 10, and they can easily expand the porosity nature of Italy. But when you talk about the passing accuracy this season in the UEFA Nations League, you talk about Postagros and then Joshua Kimmich, the midfield of German national team, that they've been able to make close to about 88 passing accuracy for the German national team. When you talk about creating of chances, Jamal Musiala and Undav has made close to about 8 chances to make Makriti and the two anymore at the other side of the German national team. But then in terms of ball interception, ball distractions, any ball blockages in the midfield, you talk about Sandro Tonali and Nico Barella in the midfield of the Italian side of Metimesia against the German national team. And then so I'm tipping say this particular game will generate over 2.5, of which both national teams can easily score against each other.
Maestro, fantastic one there. Mera se paase. Wabo modern Roma yene kama pede amanya minsha why Kofi too sure. Eza bibi aboko there. Oh